Hello everyone, I'm back with another color by color, spread by spread session with my regular paper blank sketchbook, Claude Monet. And yeah, this sketchbook, actually I'm gonna take off this sticker. It makes no sense staying there still. So yes, this sketchbook has beige colored papers inside, blank, which are waiting for us and for the next session that's coming. And while I'm waiting for you to pick your favorite color to do with, I will encourage you to comment on this video what is your chosen color going to be. So let me just give you a quick look of how it looked the last time when we did an art session. Here it is. So the next session is gonna be about one color that makes a difference and difficulties in sketching, and this time around I will try to have the most fun with it. Okay, so the color I chose here is yellow, and as you can see there's not too many things that I could choose from. It's every yellow pencil looks kind of similar, and on this paper I will try to get every corner as much as I can, but I will mostly devote this to having fun, because it's very needed in every art session, especially when you're sketching and especially when you're learning. So yeah, I will just prepare them, prepare the colors, and dig on to the next session. I'm also using here a Van Gogh yellow color. As you can see, I sharpened it pretty well. Hopefully you can see. I am using also Steadler color, or Steadler, I don't know how they pronounce it correctly, and Prismacolor. And they all kind of make the same yellow. So let's start. My first motif is going to be something that is so typical for yellow color, and I chose it to be a lemon. So I'm just gonna fast forward when I do all of the different motifs, so it doesn't take too much time for you, and you can also join me with whichever color you like and prefer. This is mainly for practice and fun. So here comes the story about how I chose this color and why I chose it. So recently I read on Reddit that somebody did a post saying like how they are demotivated of just doing art in general, which is not so uncommon with people. I would say it's very common with artists generally, but the main issue was that they looked at their art so intensively strict, in a strict way, that they kind of felt that even when they are doing something and it doesn't turn out bad, it just turns out different than they pictured, they thought of it like a bad art, and they didn't think that they actually did anything good or well, and they felt depressed. So I took a moment reading that, and I kind of felt really bad about it, because I don't think that art is meant to do that to you. Like, I don't think that your creations and all the energy that you put into things that you do, creative wise, are meant to be there to put you down. So even though every artist kind of put their mind into doing things the way they want to, and put their own thoughts into being precise, being perfect with their doing, that is actually mainly not the reason why you should do art, right? There are ways to put your art on a paper and not feel so defeated by it, and this is one of those ways. So I picked the color yellow to push myself and put myself out there, and to show the people that you can actually just, no matter how serious you are with your art, just have fun with it. And yellow is such a fun color, and it is so hard to sketch with it. I had a trouble time putting this on recording. The color didn't really contrasted the paper, so it also made me very, very heavy, very hard to draw. And I felt that it's time to put something that could make people elevate and feel good about their art when they see another person also having fun with it, making mistakes, making something funny out of it. So all of my motives are gonna be joyful. All of my motives here are gonna be aligned with color yellow. They are gonna be bright, like this dandelion. They are gonna be funny, and most of all, they are gonna be inspired by summer. So yeah, my next motive was just a quick sketch of 2 funny dandelions, which I'm gonna put together. And I actually feel good sharing with you something that could bring joy and is actually relaxing me. So the next thing I chose is something that always puts my mood in a good way. So I love watching Bake Off, the Great British Bake Off, and it just brings me so much joy when I see tarts and pies, which in the last few months I kind of got good with making. So I'm gonna just put a little motive here of a sweet, cute, probably a lemon tart. And yeah, all of this is just an invitation to people who want to spend time with me working like this in between my serious work, who want to just relax, enjoy, and put their colors on a paper and join somebody who don't want them to feel pressured about art. And yeah, it's gonna be a lemon tart. I'm in for it. Now, to put things on some other note here, I recently got heavily included, or how would you say it, invested in Reddit, and it kind of gave me a clarity for some things that I had questions about. Like, for instance, in art world, I always wanted to know how are other artists doing, what are their goals for this year, what are they even presenting. I like talking to different people about different branches in art and in creative field. It gives me so much fuel to just work on different things. And since I started this year's Etsy shop, I had to delete my own Shopify. I changed some things around my platforms where I sell, and I would take any advice for anybody who has Etsy store. How are they feeling about Etsy now? What are their plans? How are they managing? But even if you're not, and if you're not that serious, you're not like professional artists, or however is it called, you're not selling your things, I always wanted to know different perspective of, like, maybe your reception of my art. How do you feel about this sketching along with me? I will also bring this a little bit closer to you so you can see how it looks better. You see how this is not really a good contrast towards the paper. That's why it's so hard to work with. And here is a close-up. These are sweet dandelions with lemons and with the tart. It kind of looks like a pie now, actually. But for me to stop yapping, I will just go along on another motive. And anyway, get back to what I was saying. But this motive is gonna be very simple. It's gonna be tulips, and I chose them to be tulips because I saw a great reference, and that's about it. Sometimes just a sweet reference that you see is very much enough for you to take it on and try it on a paper, okay? So yeah, going back to Etsy and the platforms. I had to take off Shopify. It just took too much money out of my pocket, and even not even about money, I didn't have that much time to customize every part of my of the Shopify's profile, of the Shopify's page, or however you want to call it. So I stepped on and took an Etsy path, and I will try to put my Etsy and put it out and give it more time. Right now I am putting out some merchandise, how do you call it, like actually items that are prints, small prints, gonna be probably and preferably sketchbooks for artists, because I would like to spread this energy of having a collective and just doing together some art and just talking about our experiences together, because I really like hearing from you also in the comments, but also just having, you know, somebody to share my break with, because I do a lot of work alone and I really enjoy this free time where I can just be relaxed, do my own thing on the sketchbook and just have fun on the paper as well. So yeah, what would be your preferences for me to make a sketchbook? What do you think about it? Do you think it's gonna look nice? And how would you think that it should be looking, I guess? Excuse my English, sometimes I'm not so good at it. Sometimes I speak when I'm tired and it's also not my native language, so yeah. But what are your thoughts about buying from artists on Etsy? And can you imagine yourself actually contributing to getting a sketchbook for this kind of events with me, or just for your own practice? How it should look like? What is your ideal sketchbook? Do you have some favorites? What do they contain of? Like, how do they look? And everything like that. I'm so interested in all of your thoughts, and I would love to connect on this way with more creative people. So yeah, I'm just gonna transfer this now actively to what I'm doing. And this is kind of going to, I don't want to say fail already, but this is supposed to be a yellow flower, you know, and it really doesn't look that much like it is, and I really don't mind, and you shouldn't either. This is for practice, this is for sketching, this is for having fun and learning. I learned a lot here. I actually learned that I didn't put the perspective right, and that the shadows were done too quickly, so they shouldn't really be put there like that. So I went on my next motive, and this motive is completely summertime. I just wanted to put something on a paper that really reminds me of summer, and that is actually a summer umbrella. I don't know how you call it on English, but yeah, you know, the umbrella that goes over your head when it's too sunny and you're on the beach. And I'll just try to do stripes on it as much as I can to make them look more proportional and to make it look more summery. Also, here in Scandinavia is like a pretty chill summer right now, so it doesn't really feel so summery. So whatever I do, it really just reminds me of a good summer weather. Also here I had to pause for a little reference check. But yes, I guess maybe you can see what it is, maybe not, but it should be just for trying out. Also, what are your favorite motives for drawing anything that is related to summer? Doesn't really have to do a lot with color yellow, just what you like to see and what you picture when you think about summer. On that note, here is another motive. I scrolled a little bit through Pinterest, and whenever I Google something sweet, I see these kind of cookies. I think they're called macarons or something like that, and they are always so colorful. I actually don't think I ever tried them, which is ironic because my mom is into making sweets. She really loved making pastry, sweets, cakes, anything related to that. But I don't think I ever tried these ones. So fast forward to them, they are gonna make a cute little reference here in the middle of my pie and sun umbrella and flowers and lemon. This time I'm working with Prismacolor, which gives a little bit more warm yellow than the Van Gogh yellow. By the way, I have to admit something. I noticed that these sessions are not only bringing me to the relaxing point with art, but they also kind of remind me of some diary that I get out with. That is like, however you call it, podcasts, or I don't know what it's called nowadays, but kind of like putting my thoughts into a video where I also work on is something similar to when I actually work on drawings like these and what my mind is racing about. So not to make this too personal or something, but it can really uplift your day to share your thoughts with other people and to put yourself out there sometimes, because I am kind of doing that right now. Also, the next motive is completely out of my comfort zone as well. And with that, I'm also encouraging you to try out new things, try out new references, give a shot to something that seems simple and give a shot to something that seems complicated. You are going to learn from it a lot. And this reference was something that I tried to do on a digital version. And it's actually a perfume. I don't know, it can be hard to see, and it can also not really work out, which is one of the reasons why it cannot be seen as well. But yellow is very hard to look at while you're drawing, and it has low contrast with the paper, as I already said, so it can be tricky to see. But I was actually happy with it, and it gave me the thought about what I will try to implement next into my digital drawing of it, because it's not simple. And by the way, I need to sharpen the tools again. I've never sharpened so many times in my life when I was drawing with one pencil or two, but yellow just makes you do that. My next reference is a big reference I decided to put on the right paper, and it has a lot to do with the color yellow. It has a lot to do with life, and I saw it only once live in person, and it's beautiful. And yeah, you probably guessed it already, it's a giraffe. I make it seem so fun, but actually I just remembered, like, the good reference for yellow is an animal that is yellow. And then I kind of remembered, oh yeah, I could do a giraffe too. Anyways, it gives me so much joy to do animals with pencils, but also I practiced a lot, so they come off kind of naturally to my hand, because when I was in high school, I had to do a lot of diaries in my biology, and we had to draw a lot. And by a lot, I mean a lot. From DNA, atoms, molecules, to animals, mammals, humans, anatomy. We had to draw it all. And that's how I also got stuck with doing art as a sweet point in my life when I was going to high school, even though my high school had nothing to do with art in general. And that is something that I'm actually very thankful to nowadays, because I never left a pencil aside. Even though I had not, in my thoughts, I had not much out of it, but later on, like right now in my life, it really helped me. So yeah, these are gonna be my giraffe patterns. I'm gonna do them lightly, and I'm gonna do a little bit of hair on her back, on its back, sorry. And yeah, I'm wondering what your next motive is, because in this part I'm kind of getting a little bit of a block. Not a block, it's just a thing where I need to maybe pause a little bit or think about more about my next reference, or find something that more resonates with what I need to do, what I would like to put on a paper. So yeah, maybe in the next few seconds I'm gonna go out a little bit and try to find something that I could work on next. I hope that this part is not gonna stop you to do whatever you have in mind to do. But yeah, I'm gonna peace out a little bit. Okay, so I'm back. And while I wasn't here, I was doing a little bit of research on stationery and things like that, because I'm such a huge paperophiliac. I don't know if you know the term, but it's like a person who loves papers and sketchbooks and notebooks and diaries and all of the things like that. All the art tools, everything, including in. And I always wanted to make my own model or my own version of it. So I did a little bit more about trying to figure out how is the best way to do it. Like, what is the best way? And I am 100% sure I will try out more and more to learn how to do it, how to put my own things there. And this is a little close up to what I've done. So yes, my last motive was that hat. I thought it goes cute with the giraffe, and I thought that, I don't know, it looks cute together, and for now it can look joyful. Like, very good vibrations coming from all of these motives. So even though the hat looks a little bit more cartoonish, I persisted to do it till the end. But yes, back to stationery, and back to something I wanted to share with you, drawing along. I will use this as my next motive. And as you may already know, my background in literature and philosophy, not that it matters, it's just something I talked about in previous videos. If you don't, now you know. It's a great novel that you can really enjoy reading when you feel confused, maybe, about yourself. Well, it's not really about people outside. It's more about this one character that the main narrative is explaining, like who he is, what he is, and he's calling him Steppenwolf. That's what the original name is of the book. It's by Herman Hesse. I will advise anybody to give it a read. I'm kind of in between of it, and it really, really describes a person that I could relate my character to, myself to. So yeah, probably there are people who are gonna feel related to it as well. So I would suggest to you that you should that you can read that book and give it a one shot. I think from one shot you will just go along with it. So yeah, I decided to put that motive in, which subconsciously has a lot to do with stationery as well. Kind of represents the book and, you know, papers and everything. But yes, as one of my addictions is buying sketchbooks, which I'm not really proud of, but kind of am, and giving too much attention to it, which too much is never enough. I decided to also give my other passion, which are books, a little bit more place in this sketchbook. So I did a motif of Herman Hesse's Steppenwolf in this sketchbook, so it kind of reminds me whenever I open it, that whenever I open the spread, that I could get back to it, you know, even though if I read it, if I'm somewhere in between, or if I just started. So yeah, your sketchbook can kind of have a functional way into it as well, functional purpose. Anyways, talking about my next motive is more so just relaxing and putting everything on hold, because it has a lot to do back with summer, and the rest of this spread is gonna do a lot with summer, just summer vibes, relaxing, beach, you know, things like that, which make my mind on ease. I just relaxed while doing it, and yeah, I will just enjoy doing these sunglasses together with all of different motives that don't put too much time and mind into it from me. And speaking of that, I can go back to what I was talking about, sketchbook, notebooks, and things that I really like. I noticed that sometimes I buy tools and think, wow, I shouldn't use this. What if I use it and I'm not happy with it? Something similar that I was starting this video about. And I just wanted to break free with this sketchbook and give it as much attention as I can, but as less as expectations that there can be. So I really want to fulfill it from edge to edge. Not necessarily that it has to be that way. I just want to give my all in to that, but not feel any pressure about doing that. So in that sense, I was thinking about my other sketchbooks and sketchbooks that I will make. With the pause here, I need to get my water. I needed to. And I would definitely want to consider that very seriously, because I love putting my all into what I'm doing. And since it will be my first thing ever to do, because I don't know, I've never done the design of sketchbook, I've done some similar things, like for a magazine. I was before once an editor and an artist that put a cover on. A little bit of an editor, not too much. But this time, yeah, I would love to put my art on it. I would love to spread it. I would love to spread great energy with it, you know, just to put people on, whoever wants to join on this adventure or their own, and try to put a lot of quality into it as well, because I don't want to put out a product that is not quality good, quality wise good, and that I'm not happy with, you know. It has to be quality grade as well. So I was searching for some distributors, or how do you say, manufacturers that do the sketchbooks, that do notebooks, diaries, and everything. And I noticed that I have a lot more work to do with it, but it could actually happen very fast. So if you are interested in something like that, keep a note on my Instagram and here as well. You can always subscribe on this channel, but you can also follow me on Instagram on futurafree.dk, and I will probably post a lot about my upcoming things there, and as I already do, I have a lot of posts down there, but I will also do it here, and I will try to put you through the journey of this as well as I do myself, so we can tap along together. And I would really wish for everybody to consider giving this a shot if they feel a block, or if they feel that they are alone in art, or if they feel that they cannot relate to other artists, because now you saw me doing the whole spread with you very much open, talking about it, making mistakes, trying all the different things, trying out the worst color to practice. And by the way, I did Google a bit about yellow right now in the break, and I saw that there are some artists that really prefer doing sketches with yellow. My god. But it is happening, you guys. And yeah, for some people it's a good tryout, so we should try it. Why not? I mean, I did try it already. And yes, the whole right spread of it is about beach, about summer. You see, I tried even doing a corn up there. Good summer food and everything. But yeah, the most important thing is that I could just sketch with you, talk with you, and try to get your contact, try to do something with you as a art friend, as trying to gather a community that will work with me like this. Just, tagging along and feeling free to draw whatever there is on my mind. Right now, the reference is just something that will add a bit more to the perspective behind the tart and the pie, the lemon pie, and is of course gonna be bananas, because why not? Yellow and everything. But yeah, I chose this time a lot of motives that just bring me nothing, no pressure, and nothing bad, nothing too complicated, which I at least think they didn't. And I really enjoyed that. So yes, if you want to do more sessions like this, you can always contact me here, follow, try to tag along. I would love to see how you work on them. You can even, if you want, find me on Instagram, tag me there. And yeah, for now, this is all from today's session. I think I'm gonna stop there. There are some empty spaces around here and there that you can see that are still left open, and I can still come back to that and still work on that whenever I feel like it. And I advise you to do the same. So this is the close-up, and this is what actually brought me joy today. And I hope you felt the same about it. Thank you so much for being here, and hope you guys followed along. Let me know how it went for you, and I will see you soon again.